Wall Street turned stormy again today, not because of a tech bubble or a banking collapse, but thanks to tariffs stamped with the president's signature. On the morning of April 10, 2025, the Dow plunged over 1,000 points. Traders stared at screens like sailors spotting waves taller than masts. The fall came minutes after a post promising wider duties on everything from Canadian steel to French cheese. A digital thunderclap heard across trading floors. Families noticed too. Grocery bills climbed while wages froze. The inflation chart looked like a ski slope run in reverse, pointing painfully up. But inside the Oval Office, the mood was triumphant. Aides whispered that painful markets meant proof of strength, a baffling twist of logic. That same afternoon, Jimmy Kimmel stepped onto his stage, flashing images of the tumbling indexes. The audience groaned, then laughed when he called it the Tariff of Nottingham. Kimmel's monologue skewered the idea that chaos equals strategy. He compared Trump to a neighbor running a leaf blower at dawn, loud and pointless. Across town, Robert De Niro took the microphone at a charity gala. No cue cards, just frustration. He labeled the tariff push dumb and dangerous. De Niro's words echoed through social feeds. Within hours, the hashtag punchy trended, pairing his stern glare with memes of shaken investors. Yet the White House doubled down. Later that week, the press secretary blamed foreign freeloaders for every red number on the board. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney halted electricity export talks, warning that trust evaporates faster than snow on a sunny prairie afternoon. In Detroit, assembly lines slowed. Automakers predicted 2 million fewer cars sold next year. Suppliers braced for layoffs by summer. A single executive sighed on camera. "We can't price sedans higher and expect families to smile." The clip looped on nightly news. Kimmel replayed that clip, then paused, letting the silence thud before quipping that even parking meters now cost hazard pay. Viewers at home felt that thud. Rent, medicine, coffee, everything rising like sourdough left too long in the oven. The late-night host's humor hid genuine worry. Retirement accounts shrank. Small traders got margin calls. The safety net felt thin as cobwebs. Yet tweets kept coming. More caps, more exclamation points, promising a glorious liberation day when every importer would kneel. Economists warned of blowback. Europe readied counter-duties on almonds and aircraft. Asia shifted soy orders to Brazil within hours. Farmers in Iowa watched container ships leave empty. The whistle of lost business sounded crueler than any political slogan. On stage, Jimmy Kimmel raised a cardboard leaf blower, mock buzzing while stock tickers behind him bled red. Laughter mixed with groans. 2 nights later, Robert De Niro sat opposite Kimmel, their conversation half roast, half rallying cry. De Niro said the president isn't pretending. Stupid is the act. Applause thundered. The clip surpassed 5 million views before midnight. A reminder that comedy can swing heavier than policy papers. Elsewhere, the bond market flashed warning lights. Yields jumped as investors demanded hazard pay for holding treasury notes. Mortgage rates followed. Young couples shelved plans to buy homes. A real estate agent in Phoenix described the phones as silent. Internationally, allies frowned. Japan's finance minister called the strategy self-harm. Berlin labeled it unilateral vandalism. The president answered by adding Australia to the tariff list, calling them ungrateful surf lovers. Another tweet, another gasp from diplomats. Kimmel rolled footage of kangaroos boxing. "They punch back," he joked. "And so will Canberra with copper and wine duties." Markets sagged again. The SP gave back the week's modest recovery. Pension funds rebalanced away from domestic equities. Commentators on business channels tiptoed, fearing a presidential quote tweet. One anchor simply held up a flashing caution sign on screen. In diners across Ohio and Georgia, the conversation flipped. Supporters asked why breakfast costs more when the foreigners supposedly pay. A trucker said tariffs feel like potholes. Every bump throws off alignment and wallet alike. All the while, Robert De Niro prepared a short film urging citizens to vote, his gravel voice reciting lines over images of shuttered factories. The film's centerpiece showed empty shelves where affordable appliances once stood, proof that bravado carries a receipt. At a press briefing, a reporter pressed the administration on the car industry forecast. The spokesperson blamed environmental regulations and pivoted to space exploration. Kimmel later replayed the clip, adding cartoon rockets crashing. The audience roared as he shrugged. At least space has no tariffs, yet. California vintners faced European penalties, barrels stacked unsold. A winemaker compared the aroma in storage to hope turning sour. Wall Street bankers whispered about recession, the word they avoided publicly but modeled privately in spreadsheets filled with minus signs. Meanwhile, the president met the Los Angeles Dodgers, smiling for cameras, ignoring alerts that the 20-year Treasury had hit a decade high. Kimmel noted the timing, joking that imported champagne for the victory toast now cost the same as a relief pitcher's bonus. Social media lit with side-by-side shots, athletes grinning, traders grimacing, a tale of two scoreboards on the same day. By late April, the dollar wobbled. Emerging markets trimmed dollar holdings. Talk of currency blocks resurfaced in Brussels and Buenos Aires. Jimmy Kimmel ended one show holding a rubber duck labeled Global Stability. He squeezed it. Silence. Even the squeak left the building. Robert De Niro closed the film with a whispered warning. Don't underestimate clowns. They run the circus when we stop paying attention. The message resonated. Registrations for absentee ballots spiked according to several state portals by the next morning. In the heartland, a hardware store posted a sign. Tariff surcharge explained at checkout. Blame Twitter. Customers laughed, then frowned at receipts. Corporate boards fast-tracked contingency plans. Asian subsidiaries grew. Midwestern plants idled. The shift felt irreversible. Kimmel signed off one Friday with a half-serious plea. Somebody hide the tariff button like they did the Diet Coke one. De Niro, watching backstage, nodded, his face stern. The alliance of satire and cinema standing firm against a policy built on spite. The week ended with indices slightly higher yet nerves shattered. Traders called it a dead cat bounce. Families called it no relief. The story continues. But tonight we stop at this midpoint where jokes carry truth and truth demands action.